So I'm in London today. I'm checking out Betfair's new headquarters. They've just moved into a completely new building right in the centre of London, away from Hammersmith that has been their home for many years. That's not the only thing that is new as well, because Betfair are about to give you the best Christmas present ever. So there aren't many times in your trading career that you will go into the new year with a sense of optimism, knowing that you'll probably do much better than you did in the previous year. How do I know that? Well, it's because Betfair have scrapped the premium charge. So I can confirm it's true, the Betfair premium charge has been scrapped. From the new year, there will be no premium charge. And as this video is released, Betfair will be sending out communications. I will be putting up an article on the website, and there will be a thread on our forum where you can ask questions. So yeah, it is absolutely true. The Betfair premium charge is no more. And as you digest this information, I'd just like to take this moment to thank everybody at Betfair that's been involved in this project. It's taken a long time to get to this stage. It's taken a lot of effort, and I know from having worked with large companies in the past just how difficult it is to get these things done, especially when the change is so substantial. It takes a lot of effort and will to get these things over the line. So everybody at every level within Betfair, thank you very much. And I'd also like to thank them for involving me in the project as well. That was very much appreciated, and it's great to be able to go out there and be the first person to give everybody this news. But yeah, I'm very optimistic about the future. But what we need to do in this video now is begin to understand some of these key changes and how they will affect you. So without further ado, let's have a look at all of that detail. So one of the least liked aspects of the premium charge was the lifetime limit. And the lifetime limit was based upon how much had you earned on your account over the period of its life. And at the low end, that wasn't a particularly high hurdle to overcome. If you became moderately successful over a short period of time, then you would start paying premium charge. But if you'd been successful for a long period of time, then it's very likely you would hit that upper limit where you could pay up to 60% of your weekly profit in premium charges. Now, I've simplified it a little bit there, but the fundamental issue with that is it sort of punished or penalised loyalty. The longer you had your Betfair account, the more likely it was that you would reach some of those limits, and therefore it sort of didn't really make an awful lot of sense. The more loyal you were, then the worse you were treated effectively, the more you'd end up paying, and therefore there was less incentive for you to carry on. Didn't really make much sense. But of course that's now gone. However, Betfair have replaced it with a 52-week rolling calculation. So rather than having a lifetime limit where you would hit certain barriers, when you hit those amounts, then charges would be incurred, you now have a 52-week active window. And by active, what we're talking about here is, you have to have done something in a week for it to qualify. So if you had no activity, it wouldn't count. But if you're active most weeks, then it's effectively like an annual rolling total that Betfair will now calculate. The amount of money that you've made in the last 52 active weeks on the exchange. And the advantage with having that sort of model is that if you have strategies that earn a certain amount, but not substantial amounts, but they work over a large number of years, then you're never going to run into any of those sort of limits that you would have seen before. You're going to be consistently being able to earn reasonable amounts of money without having to get completely penalised for it. It rewards loyalty, is what the new structure does. So yeah, removing that lifetime limit is a significant bonus for anybody, regardless of whether you're a beginner or a little bit more experienced. But Betfair will now look at your account on a 52-week active rolling basis. So some of you will be saying, hold on a second, what's this 52-week period? Why does there need to be that 52-week period now? And at this point, it's important to talk about the exchange and the ecosystem and the exchanges versus bookmakers and all those things, because I've been through the same thing that a lot of people have, in that you went to bookmakers, you tried to make money there, and the problem you have with that fundamental model is that if you win, they lose. So they always try and find ways to make you lose, whether that's through setting ridiculous odds or limiting your account, limiting your stakes, closing your account, or maybe that mysterious palpable error that occurs just when you win a decent amount of money. It's an imbalanced model and you just can't win in the long term on that. And when I saw betting exchanges, I knew exactly what I was looking at, because this was an opportunity, if I just used a little bit of skill or a slightly better than average, where I could actually potentially make money from betting on sports. And that is just like a revelation and something amazing that happened. And the reason that that can happen is because you're not betting against the house. And when you bet on a betting exchanges, you pay a commission on the winnings, and that is how the exchange is funded. Now, the only problem with that model is you do get some very clever people on the exchange, and if they drain the ecosystem too quickly, then it can't be replenished fast enough in order to be able to keep the whole thing in balance. And that is fundamentally why the premium charge was initially introduced. So the situation we find ourselves in now is that, that balance still does have to exist, but it will be significantly in your favour if you're a smaller player. So the premium charge is out and the expert fee is in. So the new structure is called an expert fee. And I think the name encapsulates what it's trying to do. And that is, if you're an expert and you earn a lot of money over the course of 52 weeks, then you'll be expected to contribute to the ecosystem. You need to be able to funnel that money to keep the whole thing going. However, if you're at the other end, then it's unlikely that you'll have to pay any charges at all. And I'll go on to the detail in a second, but when Betfair looked at this particular data and the impact of the expert fee, for people who are currently paying premium charge, more than half of them will be eliminated from premium charge altogether. So that's more than half of the people that are currently paying premium charge will no longer pay anything other than the standard commission that you get on each individual market. That's a massive bonus. Now, let's say that you do fall into the expert fee in one form or another. 80% of the people that do have to pay an extra charge will be paying a significantly reduced charge based upon what they are at the moment. So yeah, what has sort of happened is that all of that sort of emphasis has been pushed a little bit higher up the chain, and that's created the opportunity for a lot of people to escape any additional charges above the standard Betfair commissions. So with the expert fee, there are 3 bands. And at the lower level, the initial band is 0 rated. You don't have to pay anything on top of your existing Betfair commission. And the advantage with the way that this is structured is that obviously, if you earn up to £25,000, you could earn up to £25,000 for 10 years. You would have $250,000 and there'd be no additional fees other than your standard market base rate commission. If you go above £25,000, there's another band between £25,000 and £100,000 where you'll be expected to contribute 20% of your profits in the expert fee. And then if you go above £100,000 per 52 weeks, then you'll have to pay the highest rate, which will be 40%. Now, as I've stated, based upon the figures that Betfair produced, a lot of people will have to pay no or fewer charges than they were under the old regime. So it's a significantly massive positive. But also think about it, the way that the bands are constructed, you can skip up and down between bands depending on your performance over those 52 weeks. So if you had a strategy that wasn't working perhaps as well as it used to, year on year, the amount of money you can get out of it is declining, you'll actually drop into those bands. But the overall effect, as I've discussed already, is to take a lot of people either out of paying additional charges altogether, and anybody that was paying premium charge before will now pay any additional charges at a significantly reduced rate. It's a really positive way of looking at things. And obviously people that are earning substantial amounts above that will necessarily have to pay the highest rate and contribute more to the ecosystem. But yeah, those are the 3 bandings that you'll see within the expert fee. So there are the key points for you about the expert fee. The way that the fee is constructed will exclude a lot of people from having to pay anything other than standard Betfair commissions. And even if you do get to the higher levels, it's still much more beneficial compared to what we've been used to. And getting rid of that lifetime limit is a massive bonus because there's sort of no cap on what you can look to achieve. So I think all of these moves are incredibly positive. And, you know, I'm sort of, you know, delighted that we've actually managed to reach this stage, because go back a few years ago and I was pretty convinced that the premium charge would never change. And in fact, I think Betfair are taking a bit of a risk here, because I guess part of this remix and introducing the expert fee is to try and encourage activity on the exchange, especially at that lower level where a lot of people are now excluded from additional charges. And I'm pretty sure that will happen, because there's no incentive for people not to give it a go now, especially if they had reached some of those higher limits and had sort of dropped out of the system. It's time to dust off those betting systems and bring them back to the table. So yeah, it's a really, really positive move, and it's something that I think will have a really positive effect on everything going forward. So I'm delighted to bring you that news. Join in the thread on the forum or leave some comments on the video. I'd be interested in your thoughts on this particular move by Betfair, but I think we can all agree that it's an absolutely massive positive as we move into the new year.